Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're back doing another Dominaria Intermediate Swiss Draft League. Looks like the first pick's going to be Icy Manipulator. We do have a Traxos in here, which is probably a pretty fun build around. Just grab a bunch of historic things, kill your opponent with a 4-mana 7/7. Pretty good. But guess what takes care of that? Icy Manipulator. That's right. So we're going to take the Icy. This is a great pack though. Traxos, Llanowar Elves. I probably would take the Llanowar Elves before Traxos too, honestly, even though it's, I don't know. Knight of Grace, which I would take the Knight before the Llanowar Elves. And then, so really, I guess I would go Icy first, then Knight of Grace, then Llanowar Elves, then Traxos or Journey Mage probably. But anyway, slice it. Icy Manipulator is first. All right. Follow-up pick. What do you do? Top two cards of your library into your graveyard, then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Pretty good. Turn all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Alright, well, the final form of it, not so exciting, but 5 mana, get a couple creatures back from your graveyard to your hand over a couple turns is not bad. We probably just take the Vicious Offering, though. I better look up the price, jeez. I don't want to pass another 12 tickets. 2 cents. Well, that sounds about right. Let's take Vicious Offering, though, and be happy enough with that. What do you do? Flying First Strike, and whenever an aura or equipment you control is put into a graveyard, you can return it to your hand. It's pretty good, actually. Flying First Strike is nothing to scoff at either. Tiana is pretty cool. The problem is, I don't think I'm logically really going to play that many auras or equipment. And I don't want to go out of my way to pick them just because I have a rare that rewards me for that. Does that make sense? It should. Alright, best card here. What are you... This is not very good, right? Exile another permanent you control and then return it and then... Okay. The second ability is cool for Constructed. It's actually really cool. But for Limited, not so much. We probably take the Reproach here. Cheap removal. Deals with a lot of things. More exciting than a fungal infection as well. Well, we've got removal 4 days. Okay, here Dauntless Bodyguard is actually pretty good. Good on the fact that it's got multiple abilities. Actually just great, and it's a knight. We're in the relevant colors for that. Or potentially in the relevant colors for that, I should say. Otherwise, Mammoth Spider is pretty excellent. I would say the Sphinx I'd probably take over the Sphinx. Or over the Spider, rather. For the Scry 2 and the flying. Could just take the Sphinx. But Bodyguard, pretty cool. Like I said, if we end up black-white, I'm pretty happy to have the Bodyguard. It's also uncommon. Sphinx is pretty good, though. I'm actually going to go Sphinx. Sorry about the noise, folks. They're doing some work on my roof. Well, there's a good chance to take Eviscerate. Call the Cavalry, also in here. And nothing else I care too much about, but I'm pretty happy to get Eviscerate. Halar the Fire Fletcher. 3 mana, 3/3 trample. Whenever you cast a spell, if it was kicked, put a counter on it, and then it deals damage to an opponent. Not bad. Certainly not bad. Could just take the Unicorn here. Not a relevant creature type, but lifelink is good. Yeah, we probably just take the Unicorn. More exciting than a Confessor, I would think. Confessor's not bad, though. It's got Menace just on its own, which is actually kind of good. But lifelink probably more valuable than Menace, I would say. So, we could take another Unicorn, or we can take the Call the Cavalry. You get multiple bodies with Call the Cavalry, which is nice. But would I rather just have another 2-mana 2/2 lifelink? Maybe. Lifelink is good. Cannot stress that enough. And I feel like I've gotten a little 4-drop congested in this format before, but I'm not 100% on it. I'm going to take the unicorn. I'm just going to go in with the idea that it probably is still, much like every format I've ever played, going for the cheaper thing is usually the right idea. Windgrace Acolyte, pretty excellent card in a vacuum, and certainly good in this format. There's some graveyard rewards, especially if we end up getting a soul salvage back or something along those lines. So let's take the Acolyte. It also flies. Very relevant. So Invoke the Divine, probably main deckable, honestly. Drudge Sentinel, not a bad card when you've got a lot of removal. It's like you just got a lot of means to lock down the board here. But we may want the Elephant solely because we have an artifact that we kind of want to get back if it goes away. Otherwise, it's not the most exciting card. But if we get more, I mean, it works well if we accidentally mill it. I guess we'll take the Elephant. I'm not that blown away by the Drudge Sentinel anyway. Sorcerer's Wand. No actual wizards yet, so I guess we'll probably just take a Healing Grace. Let's see here. Don't really care about any of these cards. Probably take the Sentinel because we already have a Sphinx. And it's actually interesting with Icy Manipulator. So some late red playables. Corrosive Ooze is playable as well. Guess we take the Overseer. It's the best card. Take a Charge. Take a Construct. Alright. Pretty strange pack one. Alright, pack 2, Tempest Djinn. Certainly not great if you're playing 3-color. I don't really like any of these cards so much, which is a bit of an issue. Could take the Confessor. Take the Glider. Something we can get back with the Elephant, I guess. This deck doesn't look, well, Dark Bargain for some card advantage. It's not that great though. So it's to me it's Glider or Confessor. Glider flies and is historic. So it's got random element synergy too, like I said. I don't love it. Certainly on a first pick, but it's just not much in here for us. Could have actually been the Confessor. I'm not 100%. Settle the Score is pretty awesome. Don't need the Temporal Gateway. I guess we just take Settle the Score and be able to exile creatures as necessary. Be nice to get the Compass back, but may not even end up playing the blue. Could just stick to a non-knight black-white deck, which would be pretty unusual, but Naru Miha. Is that worth anything? Why don't we check? It's a mythic. It's worth 50 cents. Not worth that much. All right, we'll probably just take another Vicious Offering then. Get some more removal. We're going to need some finishers, but we'll get that figured out. This card's pretty awesome. Triumph of Gerard is pretty awesome too, but we don't have a ton of creatures to support it. Maybe just take another Reproach. I'm okay making removal that deck, especially if we can wheel some card advantage or get some sort of fatty or late game plan in place here. But we'll take another Reproach. Soul Salvage is a way to get some card advantage, so It's good with the Windgrace Acolyte as well. But I'm going to see if we can play the removal dot deck for now. Tetsuko's kind of cool. Alright, we'll take the Eviscerate. So we can take the Memorial here. We're not really giving up too much for it. We can take the Paladin, current historic card. We have 3 historic cards. No sagas, no legends. We're going to need some more creatures, though, especially if we're cutting these 3. I think we'll take the Memorial anyway, though. I don't really care about any of these creatures. Alright, Whisper is kind of cool, but maybe we want the Knight. I feel like it's not too often we're going to get to sack 2 creatures, but it does have good synergy, once again, with Windgrace Acolyte. We could just take Whisper with the presumption that we're going to find more creatures. I'll take it over a Knight. It's a little more exciting. Even Sentry, there you go. It flies. Yargle is in here as well. It's also a legend, but we don't have a ton of synergies with it. Thallid fits the curve well, but we probably just want more evasion, I would say. So we'll take the Sentry. At this point, we probably just go evasion and removal. I'm actually fine with that. That's a fine strategy. There's another elephant in here, but we'll probably take the Confessor. Once again, it's got some, it's a little more dynamic. You can play it cheap if you have to, but it also is a hill giant with menace. Compass lets us splash. Dark Bargain gives us some card draw. We're starting to get, as expected, a little clumped in the 4-drop section. Could take the Sentinel, but I think I'm actually going to take the Compass just in case there's a splash like the Sphinx or something that we want to do. Alright, getting the Abomination back is kind of a gift. It's a big fat fatty. Kills everything. Good card. Soul Salvage actually does seem good. It's a way to get some card advantage. Okay. So, probably not going to play Charge. Probably not going to play Healing Grace. Would prefer to not play Sparring Construct, to be honest. Even though it does... It is actually kind of cool with Whisper. Arvad, well, talk about a good open. I mean, even just on its own, it's good. Despite the fact we don't have any other legends, which we don't. Oh, we do. We have 1. But either way, this card is good. Death Touch Lifelink is a great ability mashup. There's a Skittering Surveyor in there too, but I'm going to take Arvad. Territorial Allosaurus. This card's excellent. Really good card. I doubt it's worth anything. 2 cents. Blessed Light. Well, you know what I say. You can never have enough removal. Yeah, we'll take the Blessed Light. So at this point, I don't think that we need to splash. We're at a point where we just need a few more creatures, and I think we're actually in good shape. Jeez, I remember how good this card is. We do have a Compass, however, we're quite a ways away from that. This is pretty sweet, though. I may just want the Confessor, though. I mean, how logically can I splash for a Muldrotha? The problem is I'm low on deck space, and at this point, I think a better strategy for us is just to stick to not having to worry about fixing. Although we do have the Memorial to Folly, which is just insane with it. The thing is, we're really not giving up much for it. A Confessor. I'll let the dream be potentially alive. All right, Lingering Phantom's kind of cool for us, actually. It kind of does double duty for us because there's another compass in here too. It kind of does double duty for us though, because we do have at least a couple artifacts and we have a couple legends. So it's just something that's fat, which we want, and we can get back, which we also want. So I think I'd take this. Who knows? Maybe we'll get the compass back. That'd be nice. Ah, no, what? This is sweet. We're gonna take another Knight of Malice. We're gonna take the Knight of Malice here. It's kind of exactly what we're looking for. Over another Arvad. I think that's okay. I love Knight of Malice so much. And we don't have a ton of legends in here anyway, so we want to lower this curve. We want to place things early. Acolyte would be great too, admittedly. Just a great card, but get Knight of Malice, you take it. Could take the Call of Cavalry. It's a creature card. It probably is for us, I guess. Honestly. Don't really need any of this. Forgot about Goblin. I didn't even know Goblin War Chief was in here. That's kind of cool. Is it worth anything? I don't think it was ever rare, right? Yeah, it was uncommon in Scourge. That's right. That's actually a surprising reprint. And then there's very late Llanowar Elves in here, which is kind of crazy. We don't need any of these cards. I'm going to just take the Construct because I don't really care what I get out of that. Another War Chief. I'm going to take another Feral Abomination. That's kind of a gift, actually. Because now we straight up have enough creatures, and we have plenty of removal, and Whispered looks good. Arvod's going to be good. Tons of fat. I don't think Muldrotha is happening, but I don't know if that's a huge deal. I don't know if we need any of this. Probably just take another Elephant. Another Soul Salvage. I'm not going to play Final Parting. Confessor. Got it back, which is cool. Because you can play it for 1 mana, though. Prefer not to. Well, it's interesting because we do have the potential to splash for Muldrotha, but it's just... I just don't know if it's worth it. I mean, I suppose I just take it over the Skin Witch anyway. I can consider it. Splashing 2 colors is... I think it's too much. I think since we're already having to make cuts, it's probably just too much, but the fact that it's a potential is pretty slick. But I think this deck just doesn't need it. That's the thing. This deck really just does not need to even go down that route at all. We have plenty of cool stuff to do in here without going out of our way to splash Muldrotha. So we have a ton of removal. We have a decent amount of evasion. Like, I can cut the Evangel, even though it's a 2-drop. It's not really what our deck wants to do. I don't even really want to run the Glider. It's just basically because it flies and it works with Phantom, and we don't have a ton of evasion. I don't think the Elephant's really necessary either. We have 2 cards total we can bring back. So with Call the Cavalry, we still have like 14 creatures, so I probably should just cut 1 spell and then 1 non-creature spell and call it a deck, but kind of like all of our removal. Yeah, I don't feel right cutting any of this removal, so maybe we just cut a Soul Salvage, which I like, but we may just have to do this. How many ways can I bring Phantom back? We have... These are really like 4-drops, by the way. We have the Whisper, Arvad, Glider, Manipulator, so we only have 4 ways to bring back the Phantom, which isn't a ton, admittedly, but I feel as though our deck probably wants it. Well, I think we probably do this. We've got some pretty good top end fat, I think. So, and obviously our removal suite is pretty excellent. So, got some cool things going here. I think this seems fine. We'll run our Memorial to Folly. A little more card value in case we need it. Even though, like I said, we do have the Muldrotha Memorial to Folly synergy, it seems like I would have to go pretty out of my way to... I would have to cut. So basically, I would have to cut 3 cards. Because I'd have to run 2 Compasses and a Muldrotha, and I would have to make my mana base pretty weird. That's the only way I could make Muldrotha work. I would have to run 2 Compass, another Forest, and an Island. Which I guess is possible. I mean, it would be cool. It's just, is it a good idea? I feel like the answer is no. Especially if I'm cutting creatures, which, once again, I really don't want to cut any of our removal. Alright, I think we're just not going to do the Muldrotha Navigator's Compass package. It's as cool as it is, and it is cool. I think this deck is going to function pretty well with the plan it's got. I just don't really know a reasonable way to get Muldrotha in here. I can take a look. The most reasonable way that I see is... These are like maybe the glider goes because it can't block. And then cut like a reproach and an offering or something. So basically this is something I could do. That's pretty awkward. I guess you can look at these like this if you need to. I like the duality of them, which is why I like them more than like an Evangel or something like that. But this is 14 creatures. And we still have Reproach, Offering, Icy, Settle the Score, 2 Eviscerate, Blessed Light. Honestly, is this worth it? It's more exciting. I don't like running Compasses in a deck that has a ton of removal. It kind of feels like it's asking to get flooded or something, but I guess Muldrotha does help with flood. I mean, it's certainly more exciting running the Muldrotha. I lose a couple pieces of removal. I'm pretty tempted, I gotta be honest. Alright, I guess I'm gonna try it just because we have the... You can't get rid of Muldrotha synergy, basically. Except if you exile it, of course. So there's still outs to it, but it is pretty strong. And we already have so much removal, even if I cut 2 pieces of removal. And I'm basically running unexciting creatures over removal, because you need to have some creatures. You need to actually be able to attack them and kill them. Alright, I think I'm doing this. This is pretty strange, though. So we'll have to do 1 forest, 1 island. Thankfully, we're not super color intensive. And on top of that... Oh, this is, we can do 8-7 too. That seems fine actually, because we are to, it's really, it's 10-9, 3-3. So, okay. All right. Yeah, this is it. This is something. This is something, all right. I'd say. Okay, well, this is how we're running it. We'll see you round one.